Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and we got a list of 9 on the Toronto board, and then we've got 3 more on the Oakville board. And so what I normally do is I go over to this tab right here, and I click price, and then I sort them from lowest to highest. So what starts us off today is Suter Court, 351.8, and the thing about that particular pricing strategy is that for the $1,800 in additional asking price, if they had listed at 350,000, what would have happened was that they would actually be in 2 different price ranges. And I'll tell you, the buyers under 350 and over 350 are remarkably different. So under 350 gets a lot more exposure. Even at 350,000, you're part of that search. You're the last one on the search. So I just think that the benefit would have been far greater, and sometimes less is more. And there are circumstances where if somebody lists for less than perhaps what they want, sometimes they'll get it, but it's because of the exposure and little things like choosing those bracket arms. So anyways, 351.8 is the price. Seems a little bit high. There's not a lot of upgrading, no hardwood stairs, there's no hardwood floors. The colors are dark, it's neutral, it's new. It is the 3-bedroom version, so it's 1,356 square feet. I just think it's a little bit high. We've seen a big upkick, and I think they've started to just level off a little bit now. Pettigrew is at $399, and I believe that this one was for sale recently, a couple months ago, and they probably just came in and cleaned it up a little bit. The HDR photography, I don't know if it really captures the essence of this home. It still looks a little bit old and tired to me. You've got mismatched appliances. If they just went in and put $3,000 in flooring, I know for a fact they didn't pay $399, and you're still getting older tiles and dated elements here. I don't know. This home is probably about 1,600 square feet with a finished basement. It might still make sense at this price, but it would have to show pretty well. It would have to be painted and just looking good. I just think that, there's 2 ways to flip a home. You do it cheap and quick and it doesn't look good, or you do it properly and it actually is fixed in a good way. So, and it's hard to tell from the pictures which one. We've got Duncan Lane here at $449.9. It's attached housing. It's a townhouse for $450. About 1,600 square feet plus a finished basement. And so basically this home has a pretty open concept kitchen with an eat-in, and then you have the room in the back. That's it for the main floor. And then you've got your 3 bedrooms upstairs. This is actually the bedroom in the basement, and you can see that there's this little thing in the corner. That's probably where the sump pump is. So they probably built around the sump pump. Looks like bigger windows there. From that pillar in the basement, it almost looks like the builder finished it. And I know that Heathwood did offer that option. I don't know. For me, I just think at $450, it's attached on both sides, and I get that it's nice. 1,600 square feet too. I mean, it's certainly something like you could go to Sloan here at $450. You get a detached house, although it could be linked by the foundation, but outside it's detached. You've got a pie-shaped lot here. You've got a finished basement, a little bit older, like probably on the higher side of 10 years. It's to me, there's been a couple like on Dills and Sloan that have been listed recently, and the competitive difference for these guys, I think they're a little bit bigger, and they have that pie-shaped lot. The other ones have been listing around that's kind of 430 to 440 mark. So we'll see if they can get it at 450, but people do have options there. I mean, even, detached homes, even at 500,000, which is about a 10 or 15% increase, you're getting fully detached, you're getting a lot of features, a lot more size. So at 450, I'm just having problems seeing an attached house on both sides. So end unit town, maybe. There's those nice ones that we saw in Higginbotham. Kincardine is 614. Intracorp 40 by 100 foot lot, which is actually not bad. It's the size of some of the older Milton houses. 9-foot ceilings. If you look at the room measurements here, you can convert them to feet too. There's an option at the top of the link to do that. It looks like it's probably 23 or 2,400 square feet. Without photos, there is a virtual tour that you can click on. It doesn't appear like there's anything magical about it beyond just having a bigger lot than some of the Mattamy ones. This one on Lesage is is a pie-shaped lot, so 650 gets you this one, and 2,600 square feet. Everything has the sort of orangish tint, like the cabinets in the kitchen, the flooring. I don't know if people are going to love that. I mean, I think definitely people, anytime you introduce the red or the orange, I think people are looking more for like kind of a flat brown or a black tone versus that reddish tone. But fireplace up in the master bedroom. And it looks like you've got all hardwood floors throughout the house, plus the finished basement. And Lesage is a pretty good location. There's a park right there. It's close to everything. So I don't know, granite counters, like I think they've got some of the stuff that you look for. I think if the color scheme is your thing, you could certainly argue that it's in the right zone. This one on Coulter is, it says it's more than 2,500 square feet. It says 25 to 3,000. My understanding about this home, it's a little more than 2,400. So that's something that don't always believe everything you see in the listing. It does back onto some green space, it looks like, from this photo. And then you've got a decent kitchen here. That island is movable, so you can move that around. It's a great floor plan. I've always liked this floor plan. You get a finished basement plus the green space behind. So the basic model here, I would say, it probably goes in the high fives, and then you're adding basement plus the green space. And the 669 certainly doesn't seem like a blow your mind kind of deal, but people pay for that privacy in the green space. So wet loffer, $699. It's about 3,200 square feet. It's the Wild Rose, which is another one of my favorite floor plans. They don't have the balcony up here, which is a nice feature. If you've got your second floor, there's a little family room here. There's a main floor formal living room or an office. And so you've got 2 extra rooms here in addition to the 4 bedrooms and the open concept main floor. So there's a 2-sided fireplace here. That's your front door. That's the door to get into the front room. That's the room upstairs. So that turret in the front. Dining room plus kitchen family on the other side. And decent upgrades too. I like the fact that you've got an integrated place for people to search the internet or to do whatever they need to do on the computer. I just think having that meshed into the living area is a very positive thing, and especially as we move forward in the future, if you can even imagine, the computers are even going to be more important to us. That's probably the room upstairs. That's the separate den. It could be this one here too. There's 4 bedrooms. It's not bad. It's got the hardwood on the main floor. It's got a decent kitchen. It's not my favorite outside elevation, but I think that the home itself is nice. So McNiven is $699, and so we've got about 4 acres. It's set back from the road. It's basically right at the bottom of the escarpment. So I'd be very interested to see. They haven't really shown it in the pictures, but I'd be interested to see how it looks. Is there a slope up? Does it have a nice sort of background? Does it face that? That could be a really positive thing. Home looks like it's been kept pretty well. The pictures don't really give you a lot of perspective. They look like they're more from a regular camera versus like a wider angle. And then you've got a couple workshops in here, and there you go. You've got some nice views here, lots of big trees. $699, I think, for the extra. A lot of the ones that you see in the 6 to 7 range are smaller. They're 1 or 2 acres. They don't always have the outbuildings there, and if the house looks good, I think that this one has a lot going for it. Even if you're a car enthusiast, 2 24 by 24 buildings can be a great thing to store some classic cars. So $699 definitely seems like a fair deal for that one, without obviously seeing it in person. So we've got 3 on the Oakville board. The first one just came out this morning. It's on Robertson Crescent. And so we haven't seen a whole lot of activity lately in older Milton. There was a time maybe about a month and a half ago where there were a couple in the lower 6s. We've got the one on Gowland. We've got a couple up in the 7s, like on Valley View. So this one at $689 has kind of shaved off underneath those guys. There are still some original parts to it. I mean, if you look at some of the elements, you won't see the same finishes as what you see in Gowland. I would say Gowland beats these guys hands down in the kitchen. You've got that overhead light, which is probably good for working in the kitchen, but it does date the home a little bit. You've got a nice front room there. It looks like the living room. And then you've got your bathroom, which again, with the brass finish around the shower. Clawfoot tub's really nice. You've got this design, which, is a little bit more retro. But then you've got some nice moldings. You've got a sconce light in here too. So definitely pride of ownership in here. The bleached hardwood floors. Different colored hardwood in every room is something you either love or you don't love. Nice big open bar here. You've got a fireplace down in the basement. And then you have a pool in the back. It doesn't look like a huge pool. It almost looks like something you can just dip in. And I'm not sure how much grass is here. And I'm not sure if that's all grass. But anyways, the point is that this home has a lot of really interesting features. You can see there's a little pathway here. May not be the ideal setup for somebody who wants kids to run around in their backyard. But, it might be the last crack if somebody wants to actually enjoy a pool for the summer. 50 by 120 feet at $689. I think there's definitely an audience for this one here. It looks like it's only 3 bedrooms upstairs, so I'm not sure if that's going to affect the results, whereas most of their competition in that range is definitely 4 bedrooms. Now this one on Regional Road 25, just north of 15 Side Road. It's got 10 acres, which is great. The home itself has some dated elements, but there's barn boards in the ceilings that are from an old bank in Toronto, and there's a lot of history and character to this home. Some built-in appliances. You've got a lot of unique qualities in this home. It's a massive house. The upstairs, the 3rd-story loft is, I think, an outstanding place. Like, you're not hitting your head. It's a nice big open space. The home is just absolutely loaded with character. There are some dated elements in here for sure, but it's very cool. So that to me is one of my favorite parts of this home. And then you've got a deck. You've got a lot of open space, and there are some outbuildings here too. It's probably, by the time you put the work in that you want to put in, it's probably between 900 and $1 million, but it's got a lot of space. So very neat home. $825 is what it's listed at. I think they've tried a new agent this time, so I do like the photos and the way it's presented. So the last one is Hem Street, and it's $579, $777. I wouldn't say that it has the strongest curb appeal. So with the siding and the wood and the brick, and it's just kind of a mix of a bunch of different styles. A little under 2,400 square feet. There's a park just around the corner. It's one of the split levels, so it might compare to something like the Mattamy Upland that we've seen, the Winter Grove model by Mattamy. You've got the Fieldgate Chester model, which are all based on that split design. It's, I don't know if the upgrades are going to be enough on this one, especially when you can get something a little bit more upgraded for a similar price in some of the new parts. But the neighborhood and the location, I think, can't be beat. It just, to me, looks like there's some dated elements. The finished basement might be the thing that's their competitive advantage. The fact that they do have some space finished down below. And then there's the backyard. So it certainly looks like a nice family home. And that's the list for the day. So we've got 12 in total. And if you have any questions or if you want to see anything in this list or anything else, just give me a call at 905-693-9346. I hope you had a great long weekend, and I hope that you have a great week. So we'll see you tomorrow with more Milton Daily Homes.